my name is Michael Ball. I'm the director of Serving Together. I put some information on your tables. If there's not enough to go around, I got a few extra up here, but I just wanted to kind of briefly introduce myself, talk about Serving Together and our program and what we do, and then go over. I know somebody mentioned dog tag earlier. I did a fellowship at dog tag too, so if somebody, I actually joined the Marine Corps in 1989, but we got tired of each other after 4 years. It may be hard to believe, but I had a little bit of an attitude 30 years ago. But I ended up retiring out of the Air Force in 2013 from right down the road. I was a flight chief for the Air Force in the ICU, right up here at Walter Reed Bethesda. I spent most of the last 10 years flying air medical evacuation. I flew in Iraq. We set up the air medical staging facility on a flight line at Baghdad right after, while they were still bombing the city. Flew patients out of Kandahar in 2004, went back as a medic on a provincial reconstruction team in 06, and then from 07 to 12, I was the NCOIC of the Air Medical Staging Facility in Ramstein, Germany. So I'm moving about 1,000 patients a month coming in from Iraq and Afghanistan and all over. And then, like I said, my last year and a half here at Walter Reed Bethesda. My retirement came up a little bit quick. After carrying litters for the better part of 10 years. I had to have back surgery in early 2013, and they offered me a retirement, and it was a little quicker than I expected. They made the offer in August. They said, you got to be out of here by November 1st. So I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. I ended up staying. Actually, I was sure what I wanted to do. I want to go live on a beach and make margaritas somewhere, but that plan has been pushed down the road a little bit. I ended up working for a couple different veteran service organizations. I started at AMVETS at their career center out here in Lanham, helping veterans find jobs. Did a fellowship with Dog Tag. Went to work as the Veteran Services Coordinator for Loudoun County, Virginia for about a year, and then about 2 years ago I took this position at Serving Together as a director after the old director stepped down. So Serving Together, a little background on that. We've been operating in Montgomery County for about 7 years now. We are part of a larger nonprofit called EveryMind. EveryMind was formerly Mental Health Association of Montgomery County, and they've been providing mental health services in Montgomery County, Maryland for 60 plus years now. About 7 years ago, they started Serving Together as kind of an offshoot of their 24-hour crisis hotline that they run, but it was specifically focused on veterans and their families, helping them navigate, like we said, that sea of 40,000 plus service organizations that are out there. EveryMind has two other divisions within it. We have an adult services division that does counseling, case management. We have a 24-hour crisis hotline that we run with text and chat for suicide hotline. We have youth and family services, which runs about a third of the youth and family counseling programs, linkages to learning in Montgomery County Public Schools. And then the third division is Serving Together, which is our military and military families program. And the mission of Serving Together is not mental health specific. The mission of Serving Together is just to help veterans and their families and military and Guard and Reserve access services to solve that issue of the frustration of navigation of 40,000 veteran service organizations that are out there that say they help, but some of them do, some of them don't. Every one of them has their own eligibility criteria and service branch criteria and income level criteria. So solving that problem of eligibility and the frustration of navigation is what we've been trying to do for the last 7 years. We do that in three different ways. We have three initiatives that help us with that mission. We have county level veterans collaboratives. There's 6 of those that we run around the National Capital Region, from Loudoun County to Prince George's, Frederick, Montgomery, Fairfax, Fort Belvoir. The intent of those is just to get everybody in the same room and talking. I've been frustrated with veteran service organizations since I came back from Iraq in 03 and joined the VFW, and I'm like, is this it? We just sit in this dark room drinking 50-cent Milwaukee's Best? Aren't we out? I mean, the American Legion is doing this. That's Legion business. We're in a VFW. We don't work with them. I'm like, this is ridiculous. We're all trying to help the same group of people, right? Let's get out and go do something. I've been frustrated by these veteran service organizations operating in their own information silos, this balkanization that we all get from the moment we step off and get on the yellow footprints. It's like, that's Army, we're Marine Corps, that's a VFW, we're Legion. And now, we're in a business of helping veterans. We're all trying to help the same people, veterans and military families. So that this information silos, this balkanization, to my mind, has got to stop. So the purpose of the collaboratives is just get everybody in the same room and talking. I'm not trying to tell any organization that's a part of this how to do business or what their eligibility criteria should be or what veterans they should serve. But if we get everybody around the same table and talking, at least they can share information, share resources about the veterans and the military families that they have in their communities and what those needs are right there, and find better ways to meet those needs in the community. And that also helps us build our network. For the next initiative that we have is our peer navigators. So we have 2 peer navigators that sit right up the street at Twin Brook up in Rockville. They're available Monday through Friday. The intent is you call in, you email, you can actually email them at that the email address that's on the back, or go on the website that's on that brochure right there, and request help. Any veteran, any service branch, any era, military, family, guard, reserve, regardless of discharge status, whatever the need is, ask what you need, whether it's housing, transportation, health care, mental health services, connection to VA benefits, whatever the need is, ask that question, and our peer navigators will find a resource from our network, which we built through developing these relationships through our collaboratives across the area. And they'll find a resource or an organization that can help that veteran or family member with that need and put you directly in touch with that organization at that time. So what we're doing is building a collaborative network that can connect veterans and family members to resources instantly across the entire National Capital Region. If they can't find something right there in your county, they'll go out further. The mission is to connect the veteran to the right resource at the right time quickly. And the third initiative that we run is an education piece. I have 3 regional managers that all teach classes. A lot of those are organization-based. For our partner organizations, we put on classes based on the feedback that we get from them through the collaboratives that, hey, we have a lot of justice-involved veterans coming out of jail. It's hard to get them work, hard to get them housed. We'll go out to the veterans treatment courts. We'll go to the transition programs at the jails. We'll get experts in, set up a panel, set up a class, and have an education event for our providers on how better to serve veterans. We've done that on, like I said, justice-involved veterans, done that on housing, employment, a number of different issues. So we'll try to set at least 8 of those up a year. About this time last year, we entered into a partnership with the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. I think a lot of you may be familiar with them. They're out of Syracuse University. They have several programs. I know when I was on active duty and when I was actually at AMVETS helping veterans find jobs, they have certification programs online that for military and spouses and veterans that you can get. Project management professional was a big one because everybody gets out of the military and they all want to be a manager. Everybody puts operations management or program management on their resume. That's what I want to do, right? But so we sent them to project management professional courses there. But Syracuse also has 2 other big programs that they've rolled out recently. One of them is called Onward to Opportunity, which is just kind of coming online in the National Capital Region right now. I'm not an expert on that, but I'll introduce it really quick. That's very focused on, it's very job focused, and it's focused on that year before to year after transition period. And what they're trying to do is, which is something very near and dear to my heart, having worked, my first job was trying to find veterans jobs, and I think one of the issues in the military is people they don't have a realistic view of what the job market is on the outside. They don't know what jobs are available, what jobs are hot. They come out with these, like I said, I get these forms at AMVETS on what type of work you're looking for. First of all, everybody said operations management or project management, but then they would put things like, what are your marketable skills? Positive attitude, teamwork, crap that their recruiter told them however many years ago. I'm like, all right, that's great. And it is great, you do have a lot of experience, but man, if there's so many people that have just like one little thing, man, I could give one little certification, one little IT certification, I could get you a job like that. And I have these companies out here that, Northern Virginia Technology Council has thousands of jobs in Northern Virginia. And there's companies out there that are willing to train military and veterans on getting IT certifications, for example. I'm IT impaired. It takes me 6 months to learn how to use a new phone. But if you tell me that this particular IT certification will for sure get a veteran a job as soon as they get out, and these organizations over here are willing to train them, I'll make that connection. But we got to get on bases and we got to tell military, and I think from a much earlier time than that 2 weeks they give you, maybe a couple months before you get out. I think you need to start a lot earlier, getting on base, telling people what the realities of the job market are, what positions are available, what the certifications that they're in reality going to need when they get out. So that's what that Onward to Opportunity program is bringing to bases. And they have them actually down at Hampton Roads, and they're bringing them up now. They're just rolling them out on Andrews and Fort Belvoir. So look for them. If you want more information on them, I can make that connection too. But America Serves is the program with IVMF that we're involved with. It's very similar to what we were doing already. If you take the collaborative concept and the peer navigator concept, roll it into one, and provide a really capable case coordination software, which comes along with that. So we provide a software now to all the organizations that are part of our network. We have almost 80 organizations. So the intent now is veteran walks into your office and you're a housing provider, and you find out they're 2 months behind, or they're coming to you for assistance on housing because they're 2 months behind on their rent. And you find out, well, they're 2 months behind because they lost their job 3 months ago. And they haven't been able to work because they lost their job because maybe there's a drinking problem. And the drinking problems, maybe that's related to a physical or a mental health problem. Those are 3 or 4 things that are way outside of your scope of practice as a housing provider. But if they don't get fixed, this work that you're doing to find this veteran or family member housing is not going to be sustainable. So in the past, you may have taken yourself out of your lane for half a day, calling around, try to call this person's side. Hey, maybe you can call this person's office. They may be able to help you. But there's no accountability and there's no transparency there. So you don't know if they made it to that office, or you don't know if this organization was able to help them with employment or the mental health issue or the substance abuse issue, whatever those issues are. Now you take 2 minutes, you enter them into this software that we provide free for these organizations with support from IVMF and America Serves, Syracuse University. Take 2 minutes and then enter that veteran into the system, and then focus on what you do best. You're a housing provider, you focus on housing, but you see that came to our peer navigators, they did the intake, they got all the information, they sent the referral out to these organizations within the network. Those referrals were met. This organization's helping with this is helping with this, so that basically what we've done is, you know, what we were trying to do in the past, but slowly over the phone, calling people, seeing if you had resources at that time. Now we can connect veterans and family members to services across the entire National Capital Region instantly. And we are one of 16 of these networks around the country. So not only are we able to connect vets, family members, military members to services here in the National Capital Region, if you're moving to the Carolinas, Texas, Washington, Pittsburgh, New York, anywhere across the country, we can tie you into the closest network there as well. And we've done that multiple times. Have people moving down to the Carolinas, all right, we'll tie you into that network down there so you can get a head start. Somebody moving up from Florida, we tied them into, they got tied into Pittsburgh and had a job lined up as soon as they got there. So the intent with America Serves, they are on, their goal is to set up 20 plus of these across the entire country, these networks. So I'm